Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Thobekile Majozi, student number 232-1058-1. In this video, I'll be clearly talking and explaining how my teaching practice experience was at St. Catherine's School. To start off the video, I'm just going to summarize my overall experience and how I experienced that particular school. So, I'm a fourth year student and I recently relocated from Durban to Johannesburg. And the school that I got is in Germiston, and it's also a private school at that. Being used to going to government schools and under resourced schools, this school was absolutely amazing. I had the best time because the school was well resourced and the teachers were more than willing to assist me, and the learners were so kind and welcoming and they were willing to show me anywhere around the school if I needed to go anywhere. So it clearly was an amazing experience for me overall. I do not regret picking that school. It truly has helped me grow as a person and as a future educator. So as I carry on, I'll explain more about that in this video. Okay, so with learner assessments, over here they've asked us to identify a few informal assessments that we witnessed from what we observed from our mentor teachers. One that I noticed was from the maths teacher who was teaching them fractions, and she wanted to test and see how well her students know the content. So she gave them an informal test based on fractions, and they had to like fill it out on a paper. It was like a multiple choice, fill in the gap type of question. With maths, I feel that students tend to tense up whenever you say no, it's just an informal test. The minute you say test, they have anxiety. So one way I would have changed that, maybe I would have done an interactive quiz, use the PowerPoint projector and just project the quiz and just ask them to answer the questions best to their ability. Or even create a game where you'll ask them questions based on those fractions and ask them to work them out as a group or as individuals. Because one thing with maths, I feel like the words associate stress, anxiety, and that feeling of I can't do this. So the minute you say no, it's an informal test, I feel like that's when students feel like discouraged to actually do well. So in my opinion, I would have done something more that's kind of appealing to them, that won't raise this sort of anxiety, like maybe a quiz, but don't mention that it's for marks. Just don't tell them that no, I'm just testing to understand this. Just tell them no, we're just gonna complete this quiz. It's part of the lesson. Before we engage into new content, let's just quickly do the small quiz for fun and see how well you guys do. I feel like they would have responded better to that than you just saying no, this is an informal test. But then again, I don't specialize in maths, but that was just one of the informal assessments that I observed that could have been done better. And then they've asked us to identify two common challenges in learner behavior. Number one, it has to be the constant chitter chatting, the disruptive behavior of standing up or shouting out answers. With learners there at St. Catherine's, they were very they knew the consequences of if you don't listen to your teacher, this is what is gonna happen. So you were able to talk to them very, very firmly but yet still gentle, and just tell them, okay, listen, I've spoken to you twice, so now I expect you to sit during break time for 2 minutes because you haven't been listening to my instructions throughout the lesson. And they respond well because I find that those students are very respectful. If there's one thing with students from St. Catherine's, they are respectful and they know when they're wrong and they take full accountabilities for their actions. So that was just one of the behaviors I've noticed. A second one, it has to be homework. We don't really have control over them doing their homework, but they also had a system where they had extra homework classes as extramurals. So whenever you found that, okay, this certain student doesn't complete their homework, you'd automatically sign them up for that specific extramural. They'll go to extra, they will call it extra homework um, um, classrooms, where they'll go and complete their homework, and whoever's in charge of that classroom would make sure that that learner has completed that that set of homework that they have for the day. So yeah, it was just them not completing homework and the constant disruptiveness during class time. Homework is not really behavior, so can I please just quickly suggest another one? It would have to be the class not engaging enough. Because you do get certain classes where you plan a lesson plan and think they will be so excited, they will engage and all of that. Some learners just prefer to keep quiet and not say a word. How would I um how would I try to change or overcome that challenge is maybe when they are completing their worksheets, I'll go up to that learner and be like, hey, did you understand this? Do you need any extra help? I noticed that when the other students were answering, you weren't quite answering. So do you want to talk about it? So those are my two learner behaviors that I observed. The two learner behavior problems, not learner, but behavior challenges that I observed. The overall professional learning has been absolutely amazing because two things I've really learned. You don't have to shout, sorry, you don't have to shout at kids. You can talk to them nicely and firmly and tell them, I do not appreciate what you're doing. You're disrupting my class, therefore you will stay off the school. If you talk to them nicely, they understand better opposed to you just shouting at them and telling them how wrong they are. That is one professional experience that, well, that's one professional aspect that I've learned from the school I've been at St. Catherine's. Another one would be time management. Yo, I was terrible at time. I couldn't keep to time when it came to planning my lessons. St. Catherine's really helped me with that because now I'm able to plan out my work, structure it nicely to fit the time frame that is given for each lesson. So all of that is what I have learned from St. Catherine's school. But overall, the experience was also bittersweet because I would definitely miss the school. I do hope to go back because there's a lot that I've learned and there's a lot I would have loved to carry on learning with them in that during that time. So yeah, thank you very much. That's the end of my lesson. My video, sorry. Look at me. The way I missed him so much, that's how I usually ended my lessons. But thank you so much for listening to my video. I hope it was an insightful reflection of the overall experience. Thank you.